Let's get to power rankings. New and improved and updated. I just want to start adding as many like adjectives or what before. New, improved,
State of the art.
Exciting, state of the art, drama filled. Power rankings.
In the new studio. They're going to
in the new studio. Let's start at number 10 in this week's power rankings. We have the Dodgers sticking where they were last week. They creeped back into the rankings. They're sticking at number 10 because they had a really good week until they lost the series to the Royals.
Yeah, that was brutal. Weird.
They just stayed put. They're so frustrating. I don't understand. They're 46-37. At times they look like the best team in baseball, and at times they lose series to the Royals.
Yeah, brutal.
Series.
Okay, number 9, down 2 spots, the Giants.
Yeah, Giants lose the series to the New York Mets. They're 46-38. Just had to bump them down a little bit. The Giants have been really good this year, but a little fallback this week.
Number 8, also a little fallback 2 spots, the Marlins.
Yeah, I just had to bump the Marlins because of that series with the Braves. They were dominated, and I know the Braves are the best team in the game of baseball, at least right now. I don't want to spoil the power rankings at all because we know who's been number 1 all year long, basically. But it was frustrating watching that. Like, you know, when you're somebody that's been like, telling people believe in this team.
They're the real deal.
They're the real deal. They have good pitching. They have a guy hitting 400. They have a guy with a lot of power. They play good defense. And for them to just go and lay an egg against the Atlanta Braves and look as bad as they did in that series, I had to knock them down. The Braves are going to do that to a lot of teams, but just I just would have liked to see a more competitive series, like what I saw with the Reds last week when I actually bumped the Reds up because they lost the series to the Braves. But every game of the series was a 1-run game. They looked great. It came down to 90 feet. The tying run ended up on third base. I came away super impressed with the Reds. This one, not so much with the Marlins. So I knocked them down 2 to number 8.
Okay. Number 7. They were not ranked last week. The Houston Astros.
Yeah, the Astros are 46-38. They have played well so far against the Rangers. Now, that series carries over into Monday. 4-game series. They've won 3 of 4 they've won 2 of 3 as we currently speak against the division-leading Rangers. So they're cutting into that lead. They're getting healthy at the right time. They're close to getting Jordan and Brantley back. I would imagine with a week left, Jordan's injury wasn't bad, but Brantley, I would imagine we don't see Brantley until at minimum. I don't think they rush him back before the All-Star break. Yeah. But I think there's a chance we see him after. I think we see Jordan soon. This team just keeps getting healthier and healthier. Now they're playing the Rangers in a series who have been one of the best teams in baseball all year long. They're taking care of business there, on the road. The Astros are back to playing better baseball, and they're back in the power rankings. They weren't ranked and haven't been ranked for a couple of weeks, but I feel like now is the time.
Okay. Number 6, you mentioned them earlier, up 3 spots, the Reds.
Yeah, I love this team. I don't know what it was I tweeted over the weekend. I think I had like a beer or 2 in me, and I think I just tweeted, I love the Reds.
Nice.
I don't even know what it was about, but I do. I love the Reds.
Yeah. Well, since Ellie De La Cruz joined them, they've become one of the more exciting teams in baseball.
You know, absolutely. But even before Ellie joined, they were becoming one of the most exciting teams in baseball with Matt McClain, Spencer Steer, Tyler Stevenson's been playing great this year. And then you bring up Ellie, and it felt like that was the final puzzle piece for a team that was ready to take off. And I don't mean that in a sense of like they're a complete puzzle, because they're not. I mean, nobody believes that they're like they have pitching issues. They have bullpen issues besides Alexis Diaz. They have rotation depth issues. But it just felt like it was the right time to call up Ellie. Literally the day before, I was yelling on about call up Ellie. And then it just felt like you had all this momentum with an exciting team being met by one of the most exciting players the game has seen. And you mesh that together and you get a 12-game winning streak. You get a team that's well over 500 now at 45-39. And I know there's some better record teams behind them, but who wants to play the Reds right now?
No one.
The Reds are rolling. They're playing great. They're at number 6 on my power rankings.
All right, moving into your top 5, your other favorite team, the Diamondbacks, down 1 spot.
How many favorite teams do you think is acceptable to have?
You're the one that gave me a hard time for having 3 favorite teams.
Yeah, but you know.
And you have Tigers, Astros, Mets, Diamondbacks, now Reds. 5?
Did you say the Tigers?
Yeah, they were the first ones I said.
Diamondbacks,
Tigers,
Reds,
Astros.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I don't know. More to come.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. We'll see if we can get to 15. We'll see if we can get to half the league by the end of the year. Diamondbacks 50-35. They're one of only a few teams in the game with 50 wins. The season they have been having so far is just, it's surprising. Yes, surprising that it's this good. My hot take of the year for 2023 was that the Diamondbacks find a way to get into the playoffs. But right now they're leading the NL West. They've been great all year long. They have a lot of all-stars. You're looking at Corbin Carroll, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Zach Gallen. This is just a fun, complete team. Just add. This is a team. The Diamondbacks are a team that I would love to see go for it. The Reds are one that I think the Reds are quite a few pieces away.
Are you saying at the trade deadline?
At the trade deadline.
Okay.
Not go for it as in, like, you should really try and win.
Yeah.
All of it, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But, like, really go for it because I do think they're close. I think they're a rotation arm away and, like, a bullpen arm or two. And I saw a rumor, and I'm just going to spread it. I'm just going to spread it. I don't even know who it was from or what it was from, but I really liked the idea. Dylan Cease traded to the Diamondbacks. I don't know if the White Sox are going to do it, but man, that would be exciting.
That would be extremely exciting.
And the White Sox are big old struggle bus these days. So the fighting Diamondbacks, 50-35, they're at number 5.
Well, at number 4, they just filled a huge void and made a big trade. Up 1 spot, the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, the Rangers, I mentioned it earlier. Number 1 rotation ERA in all of baseball entering this week. The best offense in baseball entering this week. And the 7th worst bullpen. They went out and added Aroldis Chapman, who, if you haven't been following him closely this year with the Kansas City Royals, which you probably haven't been because I digress.
Yep.
Royals, not great.
Not a great team.
Chapman's having a bounce-back resurgence type year. He's been throwing well over 100 again. He's had wipeout stuff again. So I don't really know what happened there with the end of his Yankees tenure. It was really, really weird. He wasn't throwing hard. He wasn't throwing strikes, and then he left the team during the playoffs.
Yeah, that was just
It was just a mess. But going to Kansas City got him back to go. Maybe he just needed to get out of that spotlight of New York. And this is a good piece for this Rangers team. I really like that addition. And this is one of the best teams in baseball all year long. They're 50-34 and here at number 4.
At number 3, holding strong at number 3, the Orioles.
Yeah, holding strong. They've been here for a few weeks in a row now. They are 49-33. They're just really fun. And all of these teams right in this general area, Orioles, Rangers, D-backs, it's kind of like those teams kind of all feel similar to me in terms of how they're playing and how they've been playing this year and how they continue to play. But they've been having a really good year. The crowd there is doing big things now. Like, the vibe there in Baltimore has turned around, and the Orioles have been one of the best teams in baseball all year long. And as of right now, they are in 2nd place in the AL East and are 3rd in my power rankings.
Now, the top 2, this is probably going to be the biggest shocker of the week. For the first time, the Rays have dropped 1 spot and are at number 2 on the power ranking.
This one's going to be quick. Let's talk about the Rays here at number 2 being 57-30 and down to number 2 for the first time in this year's power rankings in like 2-3 months. And it's not because of really anything. They've just kind of treaded water and been fine. Let's move on to number 1. For the first time in a very, very long time, we have a new team atop the power rankings. This week's number 1 is the Atlanta Braves at 56-27. They are the only team to win every single series in the month of June. They expanded their lead in the division from 3.5 to 9 games. They expanded their lead over the Mets from 3.5 to 18.5 games in the span of 1 month. They're currently on a pace. They've hit a homer in 20 straight games. They're just on an absolute tear. And I do regret, I really fought with myself and battled myself last week. I was so close to making the Braves #1 last week. And I think I was kicking myself by Tuesday. I wish I had done it then, but it's time now. The Atlanta Braves are the best team in the game of baseball, and they absolutely are more than deserving of the #1 spot in this week's top 10 Major League Baseball Power Rankings.
That's great, too, because you predicted at the beginning of the season that it's going to be the Braves in the World Series.
I did.
So you need them. You need them to be here right now and now continue this in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel better about that now than I did when I said it, and I felt really good about them then.